1991. Another nigga like you won't find one, cause nigga, I'm a god, a divine one.
My trigger finger wise, but my nine dumb. Middle finger blind, so it's fuck A and Y one. Fuck skate and die, son. 100 ways to die, son. I'm staring at a trampoline, make my eye jump. Use Adderall like alarm clocks, wake my high up. Stakes are high, well done in prime cut. Eat up, I stick my rollie in her mouth, let the time come. She got hair like Shanae and eyes like Wanda. Oh my goodness.
Rain them bitches ugly, these niggas colder than Tommy Buddy. Yeah, we hitting models like Tony Parker be hitting bottles. Bitch, I'm going harder than Yellow Cabby stopping for Lionel.
Black ass nigga.
They be ducking this nigga. Shout out to Donald Sterling. Boy, let's get a scrimmage and cut some niggas. I bring the clippers and a couple owners. That's kinda German. You bring the nooses and a couple trees where the money growing. Get bodies burning, cause I'm trying to hang like I'm Mr. Cooper or Judah Merlin. Or some niggas from Alabama, Birmingham. I knew music's all over the street like Eric Sermon was. Fuck us, maybe we should team up. Anti-golf boys, cause I don't fuck with me either. I'm a liar, I'm a faggot.
Son, you need Jesus, but I heard he left Sunset.
Football is live! Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Football is Life, episode 94. I am Nad Mahmoudis here in the WECB studio, the underground sound of Emerson College, by myself because my co-hosts are both on Zoom. Matt Powell in sunny Los Angeles. How are you doing today, Matt?
Hello. I am great. I'm having a good day. Bright and early here.
And in New York, Ethan Cooney. Ethan, how are you doing today?
Start spreading the news. Sorry, sorry. You spurred that on there with New York.
Yep.
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. Back in the studio today, episode 94, episode 53. In the studio, not many left. Got some breaking news. The show is now sponsored by Red Bull. Let's go.
Are we even allowed to say that?
This is unacceptable.
And
are we like legally allowed to say that?
We also have the announcement that Ethan is leaving the show now. But we got some announcements. We got to do another horn because unfortunately, while we didn't take home an Evie Award, we did not win Outstanding Radio Mix. Our great friend Rated Joe did take home the award. Congratulations, Rated Joe. Congrats to Joe. Very happy for him. Ethan, anything you wanted to say for Joe?
Shout out to Joe. I'm glad that I couldn't go to the gala because I would have just had to sit through an hour and a half of show to just lose again, which wouldn't have been fun.
Especially with I guess we're supposed to keep it clean, but you can't bring any liquid to the gala. So,
really?
But it's okay. Well, I think you could bring a water bottle. I'm just trying to keep I was keeping the show clean there. You can't make the gala super fun.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Is my point. Okay. Not that we would ever do that. But
no,
anyway,
God, never.
But congratulations to all the winners and all the students who worked on the Evies. Congratulations to Rated Joe. Let's get into the rest of some news that happened this week, or actually something that will be starting this week. In MLS is those rule changes that we talked about at at the beginning of the season that didn't get put into place because of the referee lockout. Those are starting this week. So this means that starting this week, if there is a VAR decision, we get to hear the referees talk. Matt, how excited are you to get to hear what they sound like?
I am pumped. I think this is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be implemented kind of poorly in the first couple weeks, not in a way that negatively affects the call. It's just in a way that positively affects the viewership, because I think it'll be really funny. The bloopers and the funny moments.
I'm interested to see, because this brings into a new, like, now the referees have to wear an earpiece that connects to the stadium announcing. So, I don't really anticipate there being that many problems with them doing this, but I feel like it could happen like once or twice that some stadium is going to fail with the announcement, and either someone's mic is going to get left on or someone's mic is not going to get turned on, and we're going to hear something funny. That would be great.
Do you think we're going to have like a mic still on in the bathroom kind of moment?
We could happen. I feel like it would be funny if, like, after a VAR decision, or maybe they announce it and they're like, after video review, penalty. Then we hear some player who's annoyed at the call being like, "Are you serious? Like, how can that be true?" Probably they'll use harsher language than I just used. Again, we have to keep the show clean.
Harsher language than is, allowed by WECB.
Exactly. So it's going to lead to some interesting stuff. The other change, remember, is about players going off the field. This is for substitutions. If a player is too slow to get off the field, then when they get off the field, the person who's coming on for them, they might have to wait for as long as a minute, and the team will play down for this to happen. Guys, do you think this is actually we're gonna see this week, or do you think players this will actually happen?
I mean, it could. I think it would be interesting to see, like, what effect that has on the game flow specifically. I don't know if it'll lead to, like, statistically, like, goals in those moments, but I do think it'll, like, change the game flow. Like, if a team is playing well and they're in possession, then I think it could, like, alter, if they have to play deep and, like, invite pressure, then that would definitely shift things.
Yeah, it is funny.
Take you out of your game.
It is funny to think about, is it possible that we could see just so many more goals this week than other weeks? Because I'm also excited to, like, I'd be interested to see what happens if a team is subbing multiple people. Like, what if you do, like, a 3-person sub at time and they all take a really slow time to get off the field? That would be kind of funny. What if like your team is winning 3-0, so you're just like walking off the field and it's like, okay, now you have to play 8 versus 11 people on the field now, and then all of a sudden another team who's down 3 goals scores 2 goals because there's 2 people off the field. I don't expect this to happen, but we'll see. Same thing for injuries. If you are down, you have to stay off the field getting treatment for 2 minutes. I think this is the one that there's going to be complaining about this weekend, because if a player actually gets injured, the referees are probably going to hold them for the longer period of time. And I expect players are going to complain that they should be back onto the field since they're not faking an injury, is what I expect there. The other one also piece of news that is not coming to MLS, but IFAB has said they are going to be testing this, is in relation to the 6-second rule, in which right now, technically, if a goalkeeper is holding the ball for more than 6 seconds, then an indirect free kick is supposed to be awarded. Now, this is rarely called because if the goalkeeper is picking up the ball, sometimes if they're standing on like the 6-yard line, that would mean that for the indirect free kick, the entire defense would have to be on the goal line. So what is starting to be what has been proposed is that if the goalkeeper is holding the ball for a long time and is time wasting, the opposing team is going to get a throw-in. Matt, what do you think on this rule change? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you like the addition of the throw-in, or do you think that they should just call the 6-second rule?
No, I don't think they should call the 6-second rule. I like any efforts that they make to get rid of time wasting. But the 6-second rule is like a disproportionate call. And because it's such a disproportionate call, refs never call it. If there was a more proportionate action like this throw-in to counter this, like the degree to which goalkeepers push on that 6-second rule, then it would be easier to call and it would be called more often and goalkeepers would move the ball quicker. So I like the spirit of this rule. I have to see how it's implemented before I really make a decision on it, but I think I like it in theory.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about like where I'm not sure where the throw-in would take place, like if it's just like the closest boundary line to where the goalkeeper is standing. It seems like with the amount of movement on a throw-in, I'm not sure how that would work. I like the idea of, like anything that gets keepers to stop holding the ball for 20 seconds is a plus. There still needs to be, if there is a throw-in called, I think every time there should be a yellow card because if this is getting called, the goalkeeper is holding the ball for way too long and it's time wasting. Ethan, what are your thoughts on this addition? Do you like it?
I don't really like it. And I'm pro 6-second rule. I just think a throw-in is so random and that doesn't give much of an advantage at all. And so I don't really vibe with that specifically. What I really think of when I hear talk about this rule is I think about Matt Turner. And I remember how Matt Turner, when he played for New England, used to hold the ball for like 15 seconds every time. And like half the times we would play New England at home, my whole section would just be counting the seconds and just like shouting them as loud as we could whenever Matt Turner had the ball, because he would hold on to the ball so long. My younger brother hated him so much. He was probably 14 or 15 at the time. And I think there was one time where Matt Turner kind of came over to our section, and I think my younger brother flipped them off and said, like, how do you like them apples or something like that? Because it's a New England team, though. Yeah, so.
Well, if he was time wasting, you were probably losing. So that was probably why you were annoyed.
I don't think we were losing. We have a solid record against New England.
Yeah, and we'll get into that game here in a second. I think the other thing I'll say, what I will say about like indirect free kicks inside the box, these are fun. There are not enough of those. I've talked before that like I think it would be. I've talked before about like how I wish that penalty kicks were like taken from wherever, and it's fun when inside the box and it's still just 1v1. But it is fun when to see the entire team have to like line up on the goal line. There were like 3 times in MLS that I can remember this happening, but it's a very, very rare call, and it's fun when it happens. Just the indirect free kick mindset is always fun because it's like, how do you? There's different ways to attack it. It's like, do you try to lay it off sideways, or do you just like try and hit it as hard as you can at the goal and hope that it hits someone? Definitely leads to some crazy stuff. It will be interesting to see what happens moving forward with this discussion, but I like that we are having that IFAB is trying to get rid of these type of situations. All right, let's move on to news about the U.S. Open Cup. Now, for MLS teams, the MLS teams are planning to will enter the fourth round, the round of 32. They will, and first week of May is when they will be entering. So there's the 8 MLS first teams, and right now there is only one MLS Next Pro team that is still in, and that is NYCFC 2. Ethan, how does it feel to be the only...
Start spreading the news.
Perfect.
I'm leaving today. I'm super proud of this team. I'll admit I haven't been able to watch any of these games as they happen. But it's really awesome. I mean, NYCFC has always had a pretty great youth system, great homegrown players like James Sands, Andres Jason, Tavon Gray, and many others that are not coming to mind right now. We've also produced talents like Joe Scally, who was a homegrown player actually. Joe Scally, who's now Borussia Mönchengladbach in Germany, Gio Reyna, who was at Borussia Dortmund in Germany, but
I will say that no one on this NYCFC team has played first team minutes. It's all it's a completely young side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this team were to face off against an MLS team, like what are they? Because there's rules about like short-term contracts. Could NYCFC if they wanted to like have a player play down, like could they sign any of the MLS players to a short-term contract? I think they should be allowed to do that, in my opinion. I mean, like, I'm gonna guess the answer is no, because MLS is stupid, and the fact that still there's only 8 teams and the rest are Next Pro teams. Yeah. I think it's no, but it does annoy me with that. Matt, what are your thoughts on the fact that there's only one MLS Next Pro team still in?
I believe Nashville or Huntsville FC didn't get a shot because of Nashville's run in the CCC. Well, let's not call it a run. Nashville's participation in the CCC. I think that MLS Next Pro being the second best soccer league in America would have weird implications. So the fact that it's not there yet means that USL and these alternative leagues are in a stronger spot leverage wise than the MLS treats them when it comes to like sitting out of the US Open Cup. And I feel like the USL doesn't get enough respect, and I'm glad that they're showing out.
I mean, I don't understand why you called MLS Next Pro the second tier of U.S. soccer. Like you can't do that.
If it was, it would have weird implications.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it would create like a further monopoly on the American game.
The USL Championship teams have been talking about, and the other lower divisions, they wanted to play the MLS Next Pro teams. Like, we knew these teams weren't going to do well. It just goes back to MLS doing that is a giant slap in the face to U.S. Soccer. And U.S. Soccer, again, they could have stopped them. They could have held MLS more accountable. It's still so pathetic from MLS that if you're a top league, you have to be able to compete, and the fact they're saying we don't want to compete is so pathetic. If you're an owner who's saying I don't want to compete, like why are you an owner in the first place? You should be wanting to play more games. And especially for soccer, like you have to understand this is how soccer works. There's in every country there's a competition in which it's possible for every team, for the lower division teams, to play the top dogs. That's what's great about our sport. It continues to be a travesty that there's only 8 teams. That being said, with there only being 8 MLS first teams in it. We, the Sounders, we have to make a run. It's been a while since the Sounders really went far in this tournament. I hope this year we especially take it serious. We should take it seriously. Like, I do not want Smetzer to be like, because there's so many more lower division teams, we can rest people. Play our starters. Go win it. Let's be the first MLS team to have 5 U.S. Open Cups. We've been tied with Sporting Kansas City and the Chicago Fire at 4 for too long. Let's go out and win this.
I will say though, I would question the validity of an MLS team winning this tournament. Especially because I have the feeling, Nat, and I mean this with full respect. Yeah. This is not a shot.
Yeah,
I could see you claiming invalidity. I could see you claiming this tournament invalid if someone other than the Sounders ended up winning, and it was an MLS team, like with Campeones Cup and things like that.
Unlike Campeones Cup,
Mickey Mouse Trophy, as they say.
Unlike Campeones Cup, but like the MLS's back trophy, this still has a CCC spot. You win this, you get in to CCC. That being said, if an MLS team wins, they get into CCC. We like that. I think it does mean something, and if the Sounders do it, I will be happy since it will be our 5th one. I will recognize that it is pathetic that not other teams were in it, and that's MLS's fault. I will also say, if a USL Championship team were to win, I think that is actually the best thing for U.S. soccer, because one of those teams gets to be in CCC, and that is a big slap in the face to Major League Soccer. Major League Soccer will hate that if that were to happen, but that would be huge. And USL, it's a good league, and MLS should be worried. They should be friends with USL, but because they're not, I'm okay with USL doing anything against MLS. With that being said, USL, right now, USL games are much easier to watch than MLS. You can find them on ESPN. You can find them on CBS. The MLS numbers are terrible. NWSL numbers are better than MLS these days on actual TV. And that is because you cannot watch MLS unless you have Apple TV and the Fox coverage is terrible. Anyway, so the Sounders, they will play one of the good USL Championship teams in Louisville City on May 8th. So it'll be a midweek game on Wednesday at Starfire at our old training ground. If we win that, we will also host the next round, and it will not be against an MLS opponent. We will not have to play LAFC or anything. LAFC is definitely our biggest competition in this tournament. Houston won last year, but I say LAFC is still definitely the favorite because they are them, even though they're struggling recently. We'll see what happens. Final piece of quick hits. Unfortunately, we have more bad news with the Sounders star Pedro De La Vega. It seemed like he was going to be able to be on the bench this week, but unfortunately, it will be a lot longer because he has picked up another hamstring injury. Matt, what does this mean for the Sounders? Are you sad that we still don't get to see De La Vega for a little bit more time?
Yeah, I would love to see De La Vega. How many games has he played in this season? Was it 1 or 2?
2. He got injured versus Austin. He already scored a goal.
And Seattle need goals. This tie, we'll get into it, but they've had one good game this season. That's not the Seattle we know. That's not the Seattle you know. And that's not the Seattle that makes the MLS the best version of itself. So they need to get their stars out there, and Pedro De La Vega looks like one of them. even if it might be a little preemptive to call him that. So it feels bad. I want the MLS to be as talented as it can be, and him showing this many injury concerns this early is not a positive sign.
In the last week of MLS action, the Sounders returned to some form after dismantling Montreal. Went to Dallas. Dallas always a tough place to play. Playing them in a rematch of the round 1 of last year's playoffs. This game was boring as hell. Both teams with chances. We had more possession. I'll say that. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say that we should be a little unlucky. We're definitely unlucky that we couldn't get any points in this one because it's 0-0 late on. Hopefully we can do this. But it's a boring game. Let's now move into Ethan's game, who got the win against New England. Ethan, take us through this game.
Yes, I said this was a must-win game. The team heard my message. They went out and they won this game against New England. It took us a long time to break the deadlock, but we finally did with Augustine Ojeda on his first start, getting his first goal in like the 57th minute, something like that, I think. Lovely little ping from the top of the box, the top right corner of the goal. Ojeda was great in this game. I want to see him start from here on out. He was great with the ball at his feet. He was great off the ball, great passer, great dribbler. I think he has a major future at this club. And I don't know what on earth took him so long to start getting game time. He needs to be starting like every game from now on. Malachi Jones also came on in this game with like a lot of time, which I was also very happy about. He did, however, miss a sitter that should have made it 2-0. And like the 70th something minute, that was a really bad miss. But he made a really sick pass like a couple minutes later. And I think he's got a lot of promise. I want to see him get some more game time too. I hope that the missed sitter doesn't cloud the judgment of the coaching staff, because he really deserves more game time. And then Julian Fernandez also came on, and in stoppage time, he scores a beautiful curler around the keeper into the left corner of the goal. Beautiful goal, beautiful stuff. I was really hyped when it happened. Finished the game 2-0. The scoreline looks a little kind to New England, honestly. We should have scored more this game. Mounsef Bakar probably should have scored once or twice. He's still struggling with his finishing issues. I really hope that those get fixed soon. Jovan Mijatovic is seemingly back, and his visa issues are seemingly done, so maybe he'll be on the bench tonight. I'd like to see him get some minutes too. Yeah, so at the end of the day, we played well, but we should have put this game to bed a lot sooner than we did, and we definitely left New England in the game for longer than they should have been.
I want to give a shout out to Freeze because I've been tough on Freeze in the past. He had a really good game in this game. 2 big saves in this game.
Yeah, he's been coming up big,
good for him.
Like in every game lately. He's been playing out of his mind.
Yep.
So full props to Freeze, Matty Ice.
Yep. Obviously, Nashville did not have a game this past week. In our prediction game, I'm the only one who got points. Both of you guys picking Chile last week. And Cincinnati.
I stuck with the home team like I've been doing.
The Supporter Shield winning team from last year, losing 2 games in a row now. And I called it. Montreal returning home. First game, they take the win. Huge points as we look at the prediction scores. I'm starting to catch up. As both of you guys, Ethan is still in the lead at 4, and me and Matt both have 3. This week, for the game of the week, we have a battle of Texas as Austin heads to Houston. Let's make the predictions now before we get into our final section of this episode. Matt, what are your prediction for this game?
Yeah, I'll go with Houston. I'll go with the home team and the team who's been better this year. Austin sort of had their run with Driussi at this point 2 years ago and have not been the same team since that offseason for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to piggyback on that pick. It's Houston. They're at home. They can be tough to play at home. And like Matt said, Austin are nowhere near the same team they were 2 years ago when they were good. It's just not there anymore. So I'm going to Houston.
Okay, we're gonna play this game again. I'm gonna go different. I'm picking Austin. I hate the Dynamo. I just can't pick them.
Enough.
I can't pick them for stuff. Their uniforms are just so bad. I like Austin. I usually don't think of Austin as a part of Texas for some reason, even though it's clearly a part of Texas. We know this.
Sometimes I think of Nashville as a part of Texas, which is not true.
Nashville sometimes feels more like Texas than Austin does.
Country music.
This is just an embarrassing display of geography from the whole crew here.
Hey, well, you know what? I learned geography in the Nashville school system, so blame it on them.
I think this is Austin have yet to get a win on the road. I think this is the time they do it. We'll see what happens. For our
That's
team,
an interesting way to pick.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that.
I think you just explained why you made the wrong pick.
Hey, I have to catch up to Ethan somehow. It's getting brutal.
It's a long season. I don't think that's the way to do it.
You say you have to catch up to me. In the Golden Boot race, I have 9 goals. You've got 23.
Yeah.
I'm the one.
The Golden Boot race is in a crazy spot right now. I don't know what your team is on, but they need to take a break.
I don't think my team has to take a break. It's lucky for you guys. Actually, I'm pretty sure I should look into if any of y'all have been close to De La Vega, because I mean, like, he's the one who's really lacking on my team, and now he's going to be out for longer. Like, we have like a Tanya Harding situation here. Did one of y'all go bust a kneecap? Not trying to start anything, but
one of your players is lacking. 5 of my 6 players are lacking. So it's not even a competition.
Yeah.
Cucho is letting
but
you
also
down.
Ethan,
I would have guessed Cucho would be the top scorer at this point.
I know.
Yeah.
I was really expecting that too.
Same with Messi. Messi has 5 goals, so you can't really say he's letting you down.
He's got 1 less than Suarez.
Also, but like, no one told you to pick Aspria or Bo or Bekrar, so
I was putting faith in Bekrar. He scored in like all of our preseason games. I thought he was going to be scoring this year.
Still waiting on that first goal. Does he really? Is that still correct that he hasn't scored?
He has scored for NYCFC. He scored last year, but he hasn't scored this year yet.
It's still crazy. I feel like I was like, had I made a mistake in keeping track, because it's been a while, but no. Yeah, for a forward, he's got to start scoring some more before he becomes more of a best.
You're right.
Yeah. Saying something that no one has ever said. For our teams this week,
he scored 3 goals last year in 10 games.
For our teams this week, Nashville is playing Miami. Did you think this is the time you finally beat Miami, Matt?
In
Miami.
For the record, we beat up on Miami before they did their whole thing with what's his name?
Oh, I guess that's true. I think you did beat them when they were before, during that time when they didn't have fans. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think Nashville beat Miami at Miami. I'm not. Nashville's in bad form. I'm not, like, there's no reason for me to pick Nashville other than like being a fan.
Speaking of form, you know who is in form is Christian Benteke. He's going to play NYCFC this week. I'm expecting a lot of good things. Ethan, anything you want to say before the DC game?
Let's go NYCFC. And I want to say, speaking of Miami, My mom and her mom, my grandma, are both in Miami right now, and they're listening to the show. So shout out to my mom, Julie, and my grandma, Joy. Love you both. Thanks for listening.
Yes, thanks for listening, everyone. Football is life.
Football is life, and yes, relatives and football.
And Sounders will be taking on Vancouver, second place in the Western Conference. This one should be a really interesting one. It's first Cascadia Cup match, and I'm excited for this one. Should be a good game. We are at home. We usually do much better against Vancouver at home. That being said, we have had some historically bad losses to Vancouver and Seattle, so hopefully that won't happen this time. But back at home, let's keep scoring the goals. We scored 5 last time. All right. It is time that we move into the segment that I, at least, am most excited about for today's episode. We have realized there aren't enough movies about soccer. There's a lot about baseball. There's a lot about football. American football, that is, not football. When it comes to movies about soccer, we got Bend It Like Beckham. That's
a good one, to be honest.
Next Goal Wins.
Not a good one.
That's fine. Could have been. It could have been better.
Yeah.
Had some problems. There's I guess there's a soccer scene in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
She's All That. That's technically.
Oh yeah, She's All That. I guess that counts. Are there any other soccer films that we can think of? It's really hard to fake soccer in a movie. We've been and Ted Lasso dealt with that. Like you can't. I mean, it's hard to.
She's the man, not She's All That. I got confused. She's the man.
Yes, that's it. That is correct. Anyone? Are there any other movies we can think of?
Moneyball is about soccer. Last I checked.
I think you're a little.
That's not my memory.
I think you're a little confused about that movie. You might want to rewatch that one. Yeah, if you just close your eyes tight enough, then it's actually about soccer. But with that being said, each of us has prepared a movie pitch, and then at the end we're going to decide whose movie should get made. Who wants to start? Ethan, do you want to start? Do you want to do your pitch first?
I'll
All right.
start.
Sell us your new soccer movie.
I have 4 words, 2 names for you. Tom Cruise, Sandra Hüller.
I am intrigued.
Tom Cruise is an American football coach. Not American football. He's an American soccer coach. Coaching Liverpool in the United Kingdom. Liverpool. Apologies, there's a dog scratching at the door. So that's what that sound is.
Oh, we can't hear. We do not hear that.
Sandra Hüller is his wife.
Okay.
Also a coach, primarily in the women's game, but she gets a major promotion and she becomes the first women's coach to coach a men's team. That team being Everton Football Club, Liverpool's rival.
Whoa!
And so what I've got here is this experienced coach in Tom Cruise going up against his wife, Sandra Hüller, and who's a brand new star coach of Everton Football Club. And I'm picturing kind of like a Fatal Attraction, Basic Instinct kind of sexy romantic thriller drama. That's also a very domestic drama in which, yes, it's about the 2 soccer teams, but it's also about these 2 very competitive lovers going up against each other in more ways than one.
Wait, so is it a rom-com? Wait, it's not a rom-com, but they are. Are they a couple?
Yes, they're already married.
Oh, okay, they're married.
They've had a tough marriage. They're both very competitive people, but they're also both incredibly attracted to each other.
Are there children involved?
No children.
Okay.
Neither of them are that kind of people.
Who's attached to direct?
You're looking at no, I don't know. Well, the truth is, I couldn't really think. I was thinking, obviously, I mentioned Basic Instinct, so
Uh-huh.
I think Paul Verhoeven could be cool. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but I would really love to see something like this kind of directed by Sidney Lumet, who's one of my favorite directors.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, those are the two names that I was thinking of. Um, and I really liked the idea of kind of like a sexy romantic soccer thriller.
Yes,
That
how
was
did
also
is
kind of a domestic drama about a husband and a wife at two different parts in their career.
is this based on? Is there any person who this is at all based on? Or is this
It's pretty
completely fictionized?
autobiographical. So no, it's
Yeah.
not. Um, no, this isn't based on anything. I mean, I've had the vision a long time of Tom Cruise as a soccer coach because he kind of like though he wears those outfits sometimes when he's dressed more
Yeah.
casually,
Yeah. I can see it.
like the black long sleeve shirt and like the gray jeans, like, and I can just see him like shouting at players, be like, "What are you doing?" In only the way Tom Cruise can.
Is he American? Is he an American in
He
this?
is American,
He is
yeah. So
American.
there's also
Okay,
an
I
added
think
insecurity to
yeah.
his character,
I,
in that he's an American in the UK coaching over there.
I'm just wondering about how believable like him as the Liverpool
Look,
coach might be.
maybe it's not believable, but Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt, man. That's Mission
Yeah.
Impossible. Tom Cruise can do
Oof.
anything.
I mean,
Tom
Jerry
Cruise,
Maguire. He's Jerry Maguire. He knows
yeah, he's done
sports.
Jerry Maguire. Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Tom Cruise, and I love the Mission Impossible franchise. He's a beautiful action star, but he's a fantastic dramatic actor. And I wanted to harken back to the 80s, 90s Tom Cruise, where he was really digging his teeth into some beefy roles. And
Before
I
he
know
got all
he's
like
maybe
weird and
transitioning
religiousy.
back to that these days, and I'm dying for it. Tom Cruise is brilliant in more dramatic roles, and I'd love to see him, especially as like a soccer coach, getting mad and yelling at players.
Yeah. I
Oscar-based
can
stuff
see
for
that.
sure.
I can see that. Yeah, Matt, what are your thoughts on this movie? Would you go see this?
Absolutely. This is awesome. I'm sold. I'm so sold that I'm curious about this third act. Who wins? I imagine this is they play a game. The third act has to be on the soccer field.
Yeah.
Maybe
Is
like
it the FA
intercut
Cup
with some
FA Cup
kind of
final?
argument or preparation, or
Mm.
maybe I don't know if the
It
climax
has to
is
be
like
at Wembley.
halftime
It's at
or
Wembley. It has to be at Wembley.
FA Cup final in
I'm
Wembley is a good idea.
I
I
want to know
did.
who
I was.
wins. Do
I
they
also kind of.
tie?
Yeah.
I
No, you can't
was kind of
tie. This is
thinking
a
that
final.
Sandra Hüller would win. Because
Yes. Let's
something that I
go.
was interested in was them both being at very different parts of their career, where she's really on the rise and he's kind of at the tail end of it. Um,
Yeah.
and also Tom Cruise doesn't lose enough. He's not like The Rock, where like The Rock supposedly has contracts where like he can't lose fights in movies. Tom Cruise is much more vulnerable than a guy like The Rock. Um, but I thought it could be really cool to see him kind of lose and see how he would deal with that.
Yes, this is okay. We love this idea. Let's go on to let's move on to Matt's pitch. Matt, can you top that?
Probably not, but I'll let you
Oh,
know.
come
what I
on.
came up
Believe in
with.
yourself,
No,
Matt.
no.
Believe in yourself.
All right. I'll go. This is the one sentence log line.
Yes, I'm ready.
In a world where smog and industry turn night to day and all sports are banned as frivolous and wasteful activity, one left-footed boy will rise above the rest and lead a revolution with his feet. And this is the longer
That sounds
log line.
awesome. Just off the
Is it messy?
That's sick.
No. It's think of the world of Blade Runner meets City of God. A small group of friends.
Oh my
defy the
God, I
oppressive
love this.
government by playing five-a-side soccer in the slums. Each week, more people come to watch the illegal games until it becomes more than a fun activity. It becomes a symbol of resiliency that must be stamped out. The protagonist's friend is killed in a disproportionate show of force and becomes a martyr for a revolution set to the music of the 2014 World Cup, where a new generation of ultras free themselves. Side note, This world has one sport, and it's like Harkonnen gladiator fighting.
Oh my God!
And the climax
Is
the climax of the movie-
Ludwig doing the score? This seems like something he would
Absolutely.
score.
The climax of the
Total
movie is the
epic.
Ultras chasing the rich out of the stadium to play a game.
Yo!
Um,
Oh my
that
God!
sounds-
I love
That
this.
sounds fantastic.
Who's directing it?
Well, I mean, we're going sci-fi in 2024, so it's got to be Denny.
Yeah.
And then the actors, I want like a mentor figure to be Javier Bardem.
Okay, so
nice.
you're just making it's just Dune but
yeah,
soccer.
I'm making Dune. It's Dune but soccer.
Yeah.
In fact, the next one's pretty funny. I have like a when there's low stakes, there's an antagonist. This character who who thinks that like he shouldn't be playing soccer because it's against the rules and it's bad. But then as it grows, he turns into an admirer. And I have that as Dave Bautista, just because put him in more movies. He's awesome.
Yes,
and then the
definitely put Dave Bautista in more
antagonist,
movies.
the lead of like this oppressive government is I might mess up her name, Lena Headey, Cersei from
right.
Game of Thrones, just
Nice.
because she's the most horrifying antagonist I've ever seen. I think this would release just before the 2026 World Cup, and it would be called Ultra.
Is this an
sick, man. I love
A24?
that.
Who's making this? This kind of feels
Who's
like
making
it
it?
could be A24.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
All
I
right.
see this as like a universal.
Obviously, this is going to be awesome. If you put Dune and soccer together,
Yeah,
two things that are
This is
already
why-
amazing,
yes,
it's going to be good.
This is why you're currently in Los Angeles working for an agency company, because that log line was sick.
These
I
are the
was-
ideas that you're currently pitching at work.
Oh yeah. That's how creative my job is.
Yep.
For
All
sure.
right, Nat, what do you got for us?
All right, guys. So, mine is actually based on a true story. I thought that is the road that I was gonna go.
Nice.
And first, I want to say I did think of an idea. This is quickly. I will share an idea that I'm not doing, but I had an idea to do a movie like about Osvaldo Alonso, which is basically, which I was thinking
Starring Dave Bautista.
it might kind of be too much like Lion, or not Lion, but it was going to be about, but it would be like all dramatic when like because how Alonso came to MLS and the US is like he defected during the Gold Cup. He walked out of Walmart. So I could picture some really dramatic music as he like walks out of the Walmart, and then like it's like his life is starting.
Oh wow.
Anyway, I feel like that would have been a cool idea. But
He defected from Walmart?
he defected from Cuba. He was playing for Cuba at the Gold Cup, and then he stayed in the U.S. and then
I didn't know
then he ended up on the Battery, and then he ended up on the Sounders, and then he became the greatest center defensive midfielder of all time in the league. But anyway, we get into the actual movie. So, this is the line. This is the one sentence line. We'll see if you guys can figure this out. So, fearing that he is about to lose his job after being eliminated from the World Cup, a scandal emerges that changes everything. This is a look in to some dumb controversy. It's going to be directed by Craig Gillespie. Is that how you pronounce it?
Gillespie?
Gillespie?
Something like
The guy who directed I, Tonya and
that. Yeah.
Dumb Money. I guess I was thinking about I, Tonya
Directed a lot of
with
stuff.
this in mind. Yeah, he's directed a bunch. He's going to direct this because he knows how to direct it. This is the story of the Berhalter Reina controversy. It's going to start this. So the movie is going to start right after the final. And this first, you'll see Berhalter. We'll get into the casting in a second. The casting is perfect. You'll see Berhalter at a low point. He's like, the way we went out. You'll see him thinking about like, this is the way we went out. Like, I should be fired. I was bad. He's going to be at a really low point. And then when he think he can't get any lower, the story of his past is going to be brought back up by the Reinas. So in this, we will see, we're going to see both sides of the story. We're going to see what happened between the Berhalters at their home and then what happened at the Reinas' home. And we're going to, and there were also, and then like some supporting characters would be like how the media was reacting. But with this, we'll actually get to hear what these talks were like. So, let's get to the moment you've been waiting for about
I'm dying to know
who's going to play Berhalter. Who's going to play Berhalter? Well, guys, this was an easy one. We know that he can act. It's the man from Succession himself. Jeremy Strong is going to play Greg Berhalter.
That's awesome.
Not who I expected at all, but I love it.
But then,
awesome.
but guys, you look at him side by side, and you're like, oh my God, he's perfect. He is literally perfect.
Just put a bald cap on. Well, he would shave his head.
So playing Rosalind Berhalter, look up a picture of her. You will see that this person looks like them. We have Stephanie Beatrice. Brooklyn Nine. She plays Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's also in Encanto. She looks like Rosalind Berhalter. Though I will say, when you look up Rosalind Berhalter, the first picture that comes up is a picture of the Reinas, which is really funny. That is just where we are in this.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I was like, this blonde white woman looks.
The first, like, and then you're like, oh, that's Claudia Rainey next to them. Then we're getting into the casting of the Reinas. This is also good. Obviously, Gio Reyna is going to be a character in this. Playing Gio Reyna, I'm very proud of this because this looks the same. Obviously, the order. Playing Gio Reyna is Noah Centineo. Look at them side to side. It is a perfect match.
You're not wrong.
Killing this casting. I am killing this casting. You can see it.
The only issue with Noah Centineo is that he's like a little buffer than Gio Reyna is. No offense to Gio Reyna.
That's fine. Everyone in movies are hotter than the actual self, so it works.
But yeah, that's
how it works. Well. It's perfect. Playing Claudio Reyna, we have Adam Arkin. He looks like him. He's a little old. He's a little older than actual Claudio Reyna, but he does really look like him. Fabulous actor, West Wing fame. He's been in amazing stuff. Looks like them. Playing Daniel Reyna, another connection to a soccer movie. We know she has soccer skills, just like in real life. We got Blake Lively. Stacked cast. Stacked cast. I already said, and I also said who the director is. The title of this movie, I think it could, is the only part that I'm a little hesitant on. But because the movie is focusing on this scandal, which was like a blind spot to Berhalter. The movie's going to be called Bald Spot.
That's the best part of this whole pitch. That's funny. It's less of a bald spot, though. He's just bald.
I know. But it's because of you say blind spot. That's why it has to be Bald Spot. Are there any other? Yes. So now I open it up. Are there any questions about this pitch that you have?
Yeah. Is there some like journalism involved in getting this off the ground? Like, are we gonna? Yeah. It feels like you got to tell this story faithfully. Yes,
that is the thing. We need. Yeah, we need to know what actually happened. That's why it is that's what would be great about this. But honestly, we could just go for it. Honestly, like, if we want the Berhalters getting mad, like, whatever, I'm okay if they're mad. Who cares about them?
My only issue with this pitch is that I feel like it might work better as, like, a mini-series. That's like...
Pam and Tommy? We had the success of that. Same director.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that, but, I mean, there could be enough there.
I didn't watch that either. But I think there's maybe enough content, enough like information there for like 8 episodes of a series that you could really flesh it all out.
I just know that Jeremy Strong would absolutely destroy this role. Like, you need someone who's like punchable, but like also like you sort of care for, and he has like, and that's what you feel that way with Succession.
You're right. That's a good call.
Yeah, it's just like
it's
that.
A little more transformative.
The casting is just on point for this movie. All right, which one's our favorite, guys? Which one are? As we know, let's not pick favorites. They're all good.
Let's have the fans pick.
They're all good. Guys. We'll put a poll on. We'll put a poll on Twitter. Remember to follow us on Twitter, guys, at WECB Football. Follow us on Instagram at footballislife.wecb. Send us questions at footballislife.net or by emailing the show footballislife.wecb@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube at footballislife.wecb. We will be back next Saturday, April 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern for episode 95. After that, 3 more shows in the studio.
Wow.
In our history. You're listening to WECB, the underground sound of Emerson College. Until next time, football is life.